Thank you so much, Sable. It is so exciting to be here as a part of Writers Conduit, and especially to participate in believable world building.
If some of this is if you guys have questions or I'm going too fast, please let me know. I tend to talk very quickly.
What made you want to write for kids? This is kind of an icebreaker.
So today what we're going to be covering is we're going to be talking about who can critique and kind of what are the different types of critiquers who are in the world around us.
So, for example, this is Pelagia, homeworld of the Sky Rays.
I've been doing creative writing workshops here where I live for a long time. It's always been this kind of format where you set a timer, write whatever based on the prompt, and then we go around open mic and just kind of read what we wrote.
So we're talking about cover art today. Cover art can attract readers or repel them. As much as we like to think people won't judge a book by its cover, we know it's true.
As far as I can tell, the best definition of what neurodiversity is any form of differentiation in brain function.
We are here to discuss NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month.
This is the traditional versus independent publishing panel.
I'm really into the academic side of mythology as well as the more fun storytelling side.
When you hit somebody, it makes a distinct sound. If you hit them in a certain place, it makes a distinct sound.
Come to Writers Conduit, finding your online community.
You did. Hello! Welcome to my channel. I am Nina Rose, and this is the Starlight Repose. And happy Starlight to everybody out there. It's very early for me and Mabes. It's 3:30 in the morning here. And so it's dark for us, but it's daylight for Titch and Kess. So, happy Starlight, because there is always a star out, be it the sun or not. And, yeah, so this is the Running a Successful International Event panel, and I should turn on the captions. Where's that button? There we go. Captions! Hello, captions. All right. Okay, so if the sound is not great, somebody tell me in chat, and maybe we can fix it. So, with that, I guess we can get started. Mabes is going to introduce us and as OHAL.
Alright, hey everybody. So I'm Mabes. I am one of the admins here for OHAL. If you don't know what we are an international writing event. We started it in November of 2020, and it was pretty much the way that we were going to be able to do write-ins when everything went virtual. So we started OHAL, 100 Hours of Writing, and we kind of progressed into weekends of writing wildly and everything like that. So basically, I tried to do everything by myself in 2020, and then Nina Rose came along, and then we had Titch, and then we completed our amazing admin with Kess. So we work pretty well together, all four of us. We all have our own jobs that we do and different things, and it kind of works out really well with all four of us because everybody brings a little bit of their own personality and their own style and everything like that. So during the panel today, we are just going to tell you how we run our event. We're going to go from beginning to end and how we deal with certain things during the event and before and all of in between. So we're going to move into, I'm going to introduce, let us introduce all of our admins here. And we're going to start with Kess.
Thanks, Mabes. Hi, everybody. I'm Kess, or Melanie, for those who know my real name. I'm Kess Bird on Twitch. Yeah, so I've been with OHAL, almost a year and a half now. And I am based in Brisbane in Australia, so it's just right at the end of my day. The sun's just gone down for us over here. And I look after our non-Twitch tools and resources and automation. I look at a lot of our organisation and behind the scenes stuff, I guess, is a lot of what I look after, along with the website. In my regular life, I kind of wear a few different hats. I'm a technical writer by profession. I write a lot of fiction in my spare time. I run writing communities, workshops, writing events of different kinds, in between doing my actual own writing. So I write mostly sort of web serials and novels and speculative fiction. That's a little bit about me. Mabes, back to you to tell us a little bit about you.
All right, so I have been with OHAL since 2020. I live in Florida, which to some people is basically like living on top of the sun, or at least lately it has been. So when I first started with OHAL, I was sitting in my living room with about 20 or so sticky notes all over the place trying to figure out time zones, which we do have a much better system now to do that, but I did not. So that was that was kind of fun and very annoying, actually. So, I'm a published author. I am a travel agent with my husband. I stream occasionally. I wear flip-flops in every type of weather condition. I was told that I couldn't wear them in North Carolina for a whole year, and I did, just to prove a point. And I basically live off of spreadsheets. My entire life is run off of spreadsheets, my writing life and my personal life, and if I can make a spreadsheet out of it, I will make a spreadsheet out of it. So that's pretty much all about me. I'm a dog mom. You might see one poking their head up occasionally. So I'm going to move it to Rose.
Hi, I am Nina Rose. I live in South Carolina, which is pretty much like living in a swamp. It is entirely too hot here and humid and icky. I much prefer nighttime. While Mabes and I share the same time zone, we do not share the same time of day most often. And honestly, that works out pretty good for the coverage from admins. So, I started writing, I guess, when I was around 9 or 10 years old, and I've never published anything because I'm really great at starting things, but not finishing them. And I also tend to be a perfectionist, which doesn't really work in creative arts because nothing's ever perfect. But I am trying to learn to focus on done instead of perfect. I am a cat mom. I have 2 cats around here. One is George, the other is Corey. They will most probably come and make themselves known at some point. I joined OHOW November 2020. Mabes got us all started, and the event was going, the planning stages was really interesting because I think of, I don't know, maybe we had a dozen volunteers that year. 2 of us had ever streamed before, and I was not one. So Mabes taught just about all of us how to start streaming. And it got overwhelming real fast. And so I jumped in and helped out, and I've been here ever since. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I'll send it to Titch.
Hi, I'm Titch. I've been with OHOW since, I think it was December or January. After the event, you can usually find me with my cats or my sketchbook or lots of tea. I look after all of our non-social media graphics, so our logo, our overlays, the bunny ears that we've all got, all that stuff. But yeah, I had never streamed before either. And it was absolutely terrifying. I have to say, it's still absolutely terrifying every time. But no, these guys are amazing, and I'm actually gonna start us off with, well, the others have all talked about how we all have our own things that we do. So, and I think, yeah, because I'm nervous talking about myself, so we'll just move on to other stuff. So we all have our own, like, defined roles that we have. So obviously I do the logo and the overlays and the graphics, and I also look after our word count tracker sheets. Kes does magical spreadsheet time zone magic and some amazing how-to guides that are brilliant, and the website. Rose, the Discord and talking with all the volunteers and stuff. Mabes is absolutely amazing at social media. I could not do that. That is not me. And she also does our lovely forms. I think having our own defined roles means that we don't feel as left out because we know what we've got to do. I mean, sometimes it happens, and then it's important to like be open and talk to each other, because we're not all in the same time zone, and it's incredibly difficult to get us together at one time. It's always going to be awful for at least one of us. So usually we have a rotation for our admin meetings. So for me, one week it's 10 p.m. and then the next time we do it, it'll be 10 a.m. And that's just sort of how we work. And that works really well. I mean, it's very difficult because you've got to... Look, it's really tired. We're really tired when we all get together at the same time. Let's be honest. There's copious amounts of coffee and sugar needed, and usually for the event stuff it means that we can cover all different areas, but for the meetings it just means that someone gets stuck with a rough time of day and one of us is in a bad mood. But
sorry,
I think as long as like we're open with each other, it works really well. I mean, we have to be very honest with each other, and we don't always get along. We are like family, and families argue sometimes, but we all love each other very much and respect each other, and that's the sort of best way it works, I think. And we hold each other accountable to stuff, and we support each other when we need it. If we need extra help with something, or if like one of us is having a rough time, we'll all jump in and help each other out as much as we can. So that leads in really well to our lovely Kess, because me, Rose and Mabes were all kind of super close together when we like started doing OHAL. And we all have our own things that we're very good at, and we definitely had a certain time zone area that Rose will remember very well, me getting up at 5 a.m. a couple of times to do some horrible mud slotting to make sure that one of us was there. Or,
yeah,
like,
and in
having to
21
stay
I was
up
still
late,
on like normal human hours. It was bad.
Because we all kind of like just pass stuff over to each other, but we'll talk about that more later. But also having Kess covers like a whole different type of thing than any of us do as well. And also I'm sure at some point you're probably going to hear Kess be like, okay, can we move on a bit, because we all like to talk a lot. And yeah. But no, I think it's wonderful, like, that there's four of us and we all work together really well and we all do different things, and even though it's really awkward to get all together at the same time, you know, it's also super important because then we all know like what we've got to do, and yeah, and it's also, we like discuss like our roles quite frequent-ish as well to make sure that like we're still doing what we want to be doing and we're all doing what we need to be doing. But I'm going to pass over to some of the stuff we do before the event to Mabes now.
I'm going to interject right quick and just apologize for the really random stuff the captioner is throwing up on screen. I promise we're not saying some of that, but it's doing the best it can. Okay.
It's fine. It doesn't like my voice or my accent. We're good. It usually doesn't like Rose's. So, Mabes, do you want to start us off with our before the event stuff that we do?
Yes. Before an event, we have to start with getting our volunteers. And the best way we have found to do that is our Google Forms. So basically what I do is we will go through the Google form and we'll say, these are the things that we need from our volunteers, and this is what has to be on the form. So if you've ever filled out one of our lovely forms, you know that we don't ask a ton of questions. Like the first couple of events, we asked your time zone, and we asked what hours you can can you be streaming in? But then I realized, and we all realized, that we don't need to be asking that question anymore because we let everybody select their own times. Because the first year we tried to select them for them, and that just gave everybody a headache. So what happens is our forms go directly to a master spreadsheet that Cass set up for us. So everything is input. There is we don't have to do anything. Once the form is set up, it's set up. And basically, if you look at our forms and you look at our sign-up sheet, everything you put in the form pretty much, like the way you put your name, shows up in the sign-up sheet. And we always ask for, your Discord name because we do everything off of Discord. That's how we communicate. We ask for your Twitch name because that's where you stream and that's where we need you as a mod or as a streamer. A contact. I remember the first couple of events, we had people who we couldn't even contact for anything. They weren't on Discord. We couldn't get a hold of them through Twitch. We couldn't get a hold of them through anything because we had no other information for them. And then recently we have added to the second page of our forms all of our guidelines of what we require our streamers and our moderators to uphold while they are on stream, because essentially when you volunteer, you are a product of OHAL. So the forms are really important to make sure that we have that and we have that information, and we usually have them set up on deadlines and we'll shut them off when we need to. We also have feedback forms, which we'll go over later. But yeah, those forms are one of the main important roles to start our events and to get our volunteers and know who's doing what and where, and if they are a previous volunteer or if they're a new one. So as we're talking about those, we're going to go into our spreadsheets, and I think Kess is going to take that one.
Thank you, Mabes. Yes. So yes, organising an event like this is a bit of a challenge, and especially when we have, in November, we have 50 different streaming slots to fill with both streamers and moderators. And we have to juggle time zones around the world and lots and lots of people. So getting the spreadsheets together has been a bit of a challenge, but it's just kind of a challenge I really enjoy. So I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, so our spreadsheets that we put together help us to really make it as simple as possible. So I'll show you, I do have some visual aids because I do like to talk to things that are visual because it's a little bit easier. So I'm just going to disrupt the stream for a little bit and give Rose a second to get that going all good. So again, this is quite a complex project and event to put together. So we wanted to make sure that the spreadsheets that we do show, particularly to our volunteers and our streamers and our mods, are nice and simple to use. So we want them to be really clear, really simple, and straightforward. So in this one, this is just a screenshot of actually April's event that we did. And so we have all of our streams listed in there, and our volunteers can come in and pick the streaming slots that they want. And same with our mods. And our emergency streamer on the right, people can select those if they're available as sort of a backup in case anything goes wrong. And we will talk more about what happens when that happens later. But again, people can pick the slots that suit their schedule and their time zone. And the big red box in the top right corner, that one does help for people to set this view into whatever their own time zone is. So that, again, we want it to be nice and easy to use. We don't want there to be any confusion. and so it's very responsive to anyone who comes in, and pop your time zone in, and then you can figure out, what am I doing at 10 p.m. on a Friday? Can I stream at that point, or am I going to bed? And yeah, so that little bit of mechanism. So behind the scenes, I just have a formula at the top of the time column that pulls in that value from the red box and builds it into the times that are shown. And I can share that if anyone wants to. Do let me know if you want to know see a bit more behind the scenes. I did show it off a little bit in yesterday's panel with Sable. So I'm always happy to share tools. One of the other things that we wanted to make sure, because as Maeve was saying, we collect quite a lot of data to be able to contact people and manage the event. But obviously we don't want all of this to be necessarily super visible. So one of the things that we do is we actually have set up a network of spreadsheets to separate out the data and to keep it nice and safe. So from the forms that Maves manages, that feeds us data into what is it's a very private and hidden spreadsheet that really lets us grab all of that data and manage it and sort it. And then that all feeds into that streaming schedule that you just saw, where people can then go in, and that feeds into all of the drop downs in these fields so that people can just select their name if they've signed up to be a streamer. And then once that is set, it then feeds into, we have a moderating schedule that gives all of our moderators the links to their streamers that they're moderating and the spreadsheets that they need as well, and a viewing schedule that's embedded on the website right down the bottom there. And then we've got some additional ones that Titch manages, that tracks all of our word counts during the streams, and they all talk to each other. So it's a fun little network of spreadsheets, and I mean we've built this up over a while and really worked on connecting it together to get it to work for us. And it looks kind of complicated, but what it gives us is it's really low cost to run, which is so key. Like one of the key principles that we have here is that you enter a piece of data once and you don't need to duplicate it anywhere else. The system handles it for you. So if so as soon as you put something in the streaming schedule, if someone changes at the last minute, we can go in and we can just change that value and all of our outputs will change, at least as within this system. And it's easy. We set it up so that it's easy to reset for a new event. We're not having to recreate this whole network again. It's super easy to just reset them and get ready for a shiny new event. So, because we do 3 a year, so we don't want to be creating a bunch of new spreadsheets every single time. I love spreadsheets, but not that much. And yeah, I say a lot of automation behind the scenes to try and get them to all talk to each other. I say some of them are embedded in the website. I'm working on embedding some more on the website just because it's a really good way to at least get some data that feeds through. And I really hate doing things twice if I don't have to. But yeah, we're constantly kind of developing this and building it out as we come up with new stuff or we see a shiny toy that we want to add in. Yeah. So it's, I find it quite fun, but I enjoy playing with these things. Your mileage may vary.
I enjoy
but that's really a lot of how we kind of manage our data in the back. Sorry, Rose, what was that?
I said I enjoy breaking them.
Nothing duct tape can't fix. Yeah. So that's really how our spreadsheets kind of hang together and how they work on the back end. And next, Rose is going to talk a little bit about our Discord server. So I'm going to just stop sharing real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm next. Okay. And I just put, biscuit in my mouth. Alright, so the Discord server is where everything happens except the actual streams themselves. The Discord server is where we connect with our volunteers, where we pass along information. Mabes originally built the Discord server in 2020, and then we kind of expanded it after November of 2020 when we realized this was something we wanted to keep doing. In 2020, it was just the volunteers. It was just a place for all of us who were going to stream to come together, learn how to do what we were doing, and, coordinate it. In 21, we started letting viewers join the Discord server so that people could come in who weren't volunteering, but still find information on who was streaming when, what channels, and all of that good stuff. Since 2020, Discord itself has gotten a lot better. All sorts of new fun things. In our, just this last event, April 22, was the first time we got to use the server event tool in Discord, which was fantastic. Oh my god, it's cool. But, really in Discord, before each event, I'll go in and we have a category of channels specifically for our volunteers, and I'll go in and I'll refresh all of that so that the last event's data isn't cluttering up the chat or confusing anything anywhere. And I really try to make it as easy as possible for our volunteers to come in and find the information they need. I'm not always the greatest with keeping things concise, and that's where Kess comes in. Kess helps a lot with that. Yeah. An editor, I am not. Yeah, and we've all contributed to how the Discord has been built and how it works. We've got some really great bots. And Kess is constantly bringing new bots to our attention to be tested. There's a new one that we're going to be implementing that I'm very excited about that should cut down on a lot of energy cost, human energy cost. And that's always a good thing. Yeah. And, yeah, so the Discord is really kind of where it all happens, and we try very hard to make it a good place. One of the goals we have for it right now is to try to build up the viewer areas, because there's not a whole lot of things going on between our events for our non-volunteers. The Discord looks really dead at first glance, so we've got plans to spice that up a bit, and we will see what happens next. And with that, I'll send it to Titch for data sheets and graphics.
Right. I'll start on the tracker sheets, which are my babies. We started doing them because we thought it would be fun to see how many words that everyone was writing during our event. And then it turned into, we put minutes in there as well for camp. So we kind of have two sets. We have our camp ones that have the minutes you're editing. And then we have our normal OHAL November one, which is just minutes. And it's something that our volunteers can open up, they can go into, and then our word count mods will put how many words or how many minutes that people have mentioned in the Twitch chat, and then it just counts up everything, and it's all automated. There's a little calculator thing at the side, so you put it in and then it works out how much for that sprint, and then you put that amount into the list and it adds it all up and feeds it straight back through to our master tracker sheet, which gives you a total for the stream and a total for the event so far and an average for the event so far as well, which I think is really fun and awesome because I also really love spreadsheets. And I love numbers, and we'll usually start with a goal as well, which is always really fun. I love to hit a goal, and I'm also really competitive, and I like my stream to have the most words written on it, even if it causes me physical pain.
Yeah.
We even used that to name my lovely bunny. And I was like, well, if we get to this many words, then you all can name my bunny, which seemed to work really well. So I think it's a good incentive to like write and join together, and it kind of gives a good sense of community as well, and a nice added bit of fun to the event. And it's always lovely seeing how much we've written in an event, and I'm pretty sure it gets bigger every event we have, and I just stare at it and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And another cool thing I do on the individual tracker sheets is that I put our streamer's name in there as well, and the slot number, so that they can make sure they're using the right tracker sheet for that particular slot. It's a lot easier, and you're like, okay, so I'm in Mabes' stream. Great, that's slot 1. Fab, I'm in the right place. And we also have a lovely spreadsheet for our moderators that Kess has made. So all of the links to each spreadsheet go in there, and you just click on it, and it takes you to the spreadsheet, you fill it out, and it feeds all the information back to the master tracker, and it's all very like kind of like a river going into the ocean of okay, enough of my metaphors. So I also do our graphics and stuff, so our logo and everything, and with that it's really important to make sure that it all kind of links together, because OHAL as a brand is really important to us. I mean, you don't spend all the time making the logo, making all the other stuff to have it all look like completely different and not relate to each other. I mean, you'll probably find at some point when I'm doing the new graphics, I'm very much not around in the volunteer spaces. These guys get a lot of me because I'm like, I'll send something and they'll be like, oh, I really like that. And I'll be like,
I hate it.
No. Yeah. Like Rosa saying that she's a perfectionist, I am awful for that. They will get 50 odd different versions of the same thing, and then we'll settle on something, and then I'll be like, no, don't like it. Here's a new thing.
It's a process. That's what's important.
It's a process, and they all put up with me, and that's why we work well as a team. But things like these bunny ears as well have had a lot of iterations of the bunny ears. They're basically, so our logo has the bunny ears on that I made, and then I just put the pride flags on the bunny ears. I mean, it wasn't as easy as that, but that's the basic gist of the thing. And that's like consistent, because you see the ears and you're like, oh, look, the bunny ears, that must be OHAL. Oh, look, the colour combination, that's OHAL. Or this other thing, that's OHAL. And I mean, I've started trying to make it so I'm not doing quite as much from scratch each event, I have to say, which with the overlays for the camp events, you'll see that they'll be the same, because we've settled on a nice overlay for that, but you'll get lovely new fantasy stuff for November. We're actually working on our own theme right now, which is really, really cool, and I'm super excited about that. And I can't wait to tell you all and have you see all the artwork that we're going to do for that, because it's so exciting. But yeah, it's the branding. It's like really important for it to stretch through us and as an event and bring everything together. But it also shows our individuality as an event as well, because, well, not a lot of people are doing what the way we're doing it specifically.
The unbroken raid chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I like doing the overlays and stuff as well, and all the little bits. So the bunny ears, I've made it this time so they're actually a separate thing that you can add in if you don't want to use the overlay. You can just have the bunny ears instead, and the logo, and then you'll be like, okay, so we're at a know-how event, even if we don't have the stream overlay, but some people like to have the stream overlay, so it's nice to have different choices and options. And I mean, I do have to cut down on the amount of graphics that I put in for our volunteers, because if I didn't, we'd probably just be like overwhelmed. But no, it's super fun doing it. I'm literally the most stressy person ever, but
no, you're not.
But like, I'm generally quite happy with it when it's done. Everyone else likes it, so that's the most important thing, I think. I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm doing that thing I do where I'm just like, yes, so let's talk more about the logo, which I've already talked about a billion times already. It's great. But that's my thing, and I love it, and like that and the tracker sheets just... And I mean, actually, I will say, the bunny ears, if you go to our website and you refresh it, the bunny ears change. And it's got each 4 of these on there. So that's our Team Pride bunny ears. I love them.
Yes.
They're my babies.
I love them too.
Yay.
I love you.
And no bunnies were harmed in the making of these bunny ears.
No, they weren't, but Titch was. Titch very much was harmed.
Well, I think, Cass, you're up next.
Yes.
Yes. So, I want to talk a little bit about how we try to help new streamers and our website. So, we are super lucky with our community, and we do love our streamers very, very much. As I think Rose mentioned earlier, I think we started out with 2 experienced streamers and a lot of newbies, and since then we've gathered some more experienced streamers and many, many, many more newbies. And there's been a lot of learning that happens as part of the event, both for us as admins, but also for all of our streamers. So, and over the sort of life of OHOW so far, we have gathered like quite a lot of information about how to stream effectively, cool tools to use, lots of different stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, I am a technical writer by trade, so putting together this kind of information is kind of my day job. And so I got to use my day job skills to help out a little bit. And I'm gonna share my screen again.
I want to say that right before we pulled Cass in, I had this category of how-to channels, and there were probably 30 different channels in there of how to do different things. And I'm like, Cass, you have to help us.
I remember them.
This is how we learn and grow.
And every single time we had something new come up, there was a new channel of how to do it.
There still are, they're just hidden now.
Some of them don't live very long anymore. Okay, we had a lot of really great information there, so we wanted it to be easy to find, easy to digest, and useful for people to be able to jump in and make use of. So around that time, I was also building the website, so it all got smooshed together because a static place like a website's a kind of a better way to provide static information as opposed to a Discord server, which is more conversational and less useful for reference. So we wanted people to be able to come to our website and learn about us. I'm not going to take you through the whole website. I do just want to go through a couple of things. But there is this whole how-to section that we have put together, including, information people if they want to just come in and watch as a viewer, and then as a streamer and a moderator. There's also some information on our Discord volunteers, but I'm not going to cover that today. Feel free to have a look on the website if you're curious. But yeah, if you go into any of these, you can get an idea about, so for our streamers, what they're signing up for, what we kind of are asking them to do as part of the event, and what the fact we want you to put the logo on the stream as part of the event to show that you're part of OHAL, just for that stream and that sort of thing. How to sign up and volunteer. Got some information about the kind of stuff you need to do before the event, as well as the more technical stuff for how to add mods to the event. If you're brand new to streaming, how to set up Twitch and the basic stuff, as well as, again, I'm not going to go through all of these because there's heaps of stuff here.
It is so awesome.
So many things. If you want to add music in, the music that is safe to use, and you're not going to get caught with copyright stuff.
No.
It can be really good if you want to add that kind of thing in. A lot of this has been gathered from a lot of experienced streamers who have been really kind in sharing their knowledge with us, stuff that our streamers have learned and along the ways, things that we as the admin team have learned, and hopefully it's good for new streamers to come in and get an idea about how to get set up and started. We also have areas set up on the Discord server. So if people come in and they want some help, they want questions, we do have some areas on there. I'm not going to show you the actual server, but I do have a screenshot I took earlier. Just at the kind, we've got the help and support area if you want to jump in and ask questions about how to get going with streaming, or you're having a problem with a tool, or something's not quite working right. You can jump in and just ask for help. There's heaps of people who will step up and give you what you need, as well as kind of our standard resources as well. There's lots of stuff in there that people have found and gone, hey, this is really cool. If you want to do this, then check this out as well. And I do mine those channels for stuff to put on the website so they don't kind of get lost in the back scroll. So we do try to be responsive to the cool stuff that we come across and sharing it with people. So yeah, we're really sort of super open to people asking questions and helping them out with getting started with whether it's with streaming or with our event or with anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that is. Sorry, I'm just checking my notes to make sure I'm covering everything.
Right?
Spoiler alert, we have notes. I do.
To keep all four of us on track, there must be notes.
And it's hard to keep all four of us on track.
I tell you what, we are 45 minutes into this stream and we are doing so well with keeping on topic and all.
You have no idea. This is a world record for us.
It really is.
The admin meetings never go this smoothly, and maybe we should just stream them all.
It's
Maybe that would help.
We're all so passionate about it, and we love to talk, and we love to say what we think, and we all interject with each other. So yeah, keeping on track is very difficult.
It is, but in the interest of keeping doing that, Rose, you want to talk about some test streams for us?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stop streaming.
Yeah, let me put us back. Grid. All right. So, one thing, many things really, like Kes said, we tend to have a lot of brand new to streaming people come in. And one of the things we found that helps the absolute most is a test stream. And a lot of our volunteers, probably more than half or even more than 2/3, tend to only stream for our events. And so there'll be these big gaps between, if they streamed in April and then streaming again in July. Software updates so much in that amount of time. And hardware degrades so much in that amount of time. And so one of the things, we do is a test stream. We ask that they have, their graphic splashes up, any sprints timers that they want to use, our logo on there somewhere, and just to run a short stream or a long stream. If you want to run a whole stream, go for it. That's even better. But we ask that the test streams be, 10, 15 minutes long at least. And that you test out each element and each, scene change that you're going to be doing. Because sometimes you'll add your mic to one scene and forget to add it to the next. Or, things just don't work the way you want them to. And one thing we learned very quickly in 2020, in the very first one of these we did, was just how real it is that your internet strength at 2 a.m. is not the same as your internet strength at 6 p.m. on a Friday. So we ask people to do their test stream on the equipment they intend to use at the same time of day that they want to be streaming. And if they can get it on the same day of the week, that's even better. And it's really interesting how much you can test offline. And then when you go online, so many different things show up. One of the things that's a consistent stumbling block is audio levels. And I hope mine are right. Because they have given me fits this week. And it sounds great to me. It sounds great when I hit record and watch it back later, and then it sounds completely different on the actual VOD. And so it's really interesting. And thank you so much for the follow. And another thing that a test stream really does is we tend to do it, we have our deadline set the week before our event. And it's a great way to get the jitters out. You know, and even those of us who do stream more often, and it's still, 10 minutes before you go live, you're ready to just fall into a ball of nerves, And getting that first stream out of the way, if it's been 3 months since you've streamed, if you've never streamed before, any of that, getting that first stream, you've been live, you've been out there, it just really helps get some of the nerves out. And it's been really beneficial, and we've had so many different volunteers come back after an event and go, I can't tell you how much that test stream helped. I really did learn more from the test stream than I ever thought I would. And like, even for this conduit panel, we did a test stream. We got together and put all this together and tried to break the tech. And it helps so much. And we do have some volunteers who stream daily. And for them, a test stream isn't such a big deal because they are streaming all the time. They're getting the Streamlabs updates, the OBS updates, the computer updates, and all the software stuff. But those of us who don't stream regularly, if you don't open Streamlabs in 3 months, you're going to have a list of updates. And that can crash everything if you find that out 10 minutes before you're supposed to go live. And with the way our event works, in that we have, one track here at Conduit, there's 3 different tracks. With an OHOW event, we have 1. And everybody raids to the next streamer. So it is an unbroken stream train of 40 hours long marathon in April and July, and then 100 hours long in November. And if that train gets broken, it's really difficult to get that momentum back. And the thing that helps the absolute most in preventing that is the test stream. So, yeah. All right, so I believe that brings us to our first set of Q&A time. If anybody in the chat has any questions that you'd like to ask us, now would be the time.
Otherwise we'll probably just end up like...
Otherwise,
talking.
we'll probably take a break. Because we are about an hour in, 50 minutes in or so, and we're supposed to take a break or two. So... There's a question. Awesome. Let me see. Let's pen this question.
What happens if someone fails a test stream? From Rainbow Moon Goddess.
Well, we asked them to do it again. Honestly, it's...
We do give feedback on exactly what's wrong. Like whether there's a mic missing somewhere, or the sound levels are off, or there's something visual gone astray.
Really bad.
And we try not to ban you from the event. Like, we won't do that just because you failed that. Like, we'll work with you and be like, okay, what went wrong, and let's fix it before. And that's why we have our test streams before our event. So in that way we can be like, hey guys, we need to fix this. I think during our first year we had somebody who went to go jump online, and like every time they clicked like go live, their whole thing crashed because we didn't do test streams then. So they've become very important to us.
I mean, especially now, one of the big problems we have is you can use other things during like stream raiders and stuff like that, and sometimes people's computers aren't particularly equipped for that, so we might be like, well, could you not use that during the stream if it's going to lag the stream a lot? So we kind of give that type of feedback too.
Yeah, and one of the things we really like to do at test streams is we super encourage our volunteers that when they're going to start their test stream to drop an @admin in the Discord, because one of us is always awake. It's one of the great things about our time zones. And so an admin will jump into your stream and give you live feedback on what we're hearing and what we're seeing as a viewer. And that helps so much. So yeah, it's really hard to just straight up fail a test stream. We work really hard to get you through it. Because we want you to succeed.
Have you ever had anyone just straight up fail one? I think the ones I've been in, like I've given feedback and they fixed it right then and there in their whatever
I think
they're using to put their stream together. But by the time we finished this first stream, they were fine.
It's usually people not doing the test stream and then not communicating with us.
Right. We have had a few people miss the deadline and have had to remove them from the schedule. And we have had to request a second stream, test stream, just a couple of rare times, not a whole lot, of, hey, we didn't see this particular element, would you mind going live again, and we can chat, you know, so we really, really do want our streamers to succeed. You know, it's a big thing, you know, especially for me. My heart is really in bringing people up, and yeah, so.
And I think it's important to, like, well, we call it a test, and people can get a little bit nervous about that. It is intended to help the streamer, and to make sure that the streamer is feeling confident that they've got everything that they need. And that their stream is what they are expecting it to be, from a viewer's perspective. And yeah, and it just makes everything run smoothly for everybody involved and much less stress on the day. So with an event that rolls as quickly as ours does, having things move smoothly is really, really key.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the only surefire way to actually fail a test stream is to just not do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we are constantly refining what we look for in the test streamers. As we notice what trips streams up. I think every event we wind up going, oh, okay, next time we do test streams, we should really ask the streamers this.
Right? It's like, please give us feedback.
And yeah. Yeah. So I think we're all learning what to look for.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're not perfect either. We do test streams too, and we sit on in each other's test streams, and we're like, hey, like, can you sort your volume levels out, please? Or your music's too loud, or you're lagging. So it's not just everyone else. We do it for ourselves too, and we're probably harder on each other, I think.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be.
Well, maybe you are.
Thanks, Cass.
Oh, yes. We laugh because
this
it's
is what
true.
I mean. We're like a family.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Any other questions? Drop them in the chat. Thank you for that question, Rainbow and Goddess. That was great.
That was a really great question.
Have answers.
Yeah.
All right.
Just wait until we get asked a question that we don't have answers for. That's going to be fun.
I know. They're all going to sit there like this. What do we do?
We'll all look at Cass. That's what we'll do.
Cass, you gotta answer this one.
Ask me hard questions like, how many words do we write at the last event? Like, hang on, I've got a spreadsheet for that.
Titch might know.
We do. We have a spreadsheet for them too.
We do.
I
We do. That's not even a joke. We're serious. We quite literally have a spreadsheet for everything.
We have a spreadsheet for the spreadsheets, so you know.
Yeah.
I had to write a whole guide to our spreadsheets just so that we could remember what does what.
Yep.
I think we have a spreadsheet for our jobs.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Yes, we do.
I just remembered that. I was like, oh yeah, we do. We have that spreadsheet, and it's got all of our like roles on it and stuff
Yes.
that I had forgotten that we had.
Oh.
It's there. This is what happens because we're all in different time zones and we're all in weird brain places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is totally my bedtime right now. It's 4:30 in the morning. I usually go to bed at about 3.
I'm usually still asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, do
Yeah,
you guys
it's kinda
want...
dinner time for me.
Yeah, Cass and Titch are like, we're good. So...
Yeah, right?
Yay, posture check. Spader redeemed a posture check. Everybody stretch.
Okay. This is just happening because they want to see me do an aeroplane.
I can't do that with this arm right
If you
now.
hear any snapping noises.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I dislocated my shoulder a few weeks ago, so I still can't do that. You can do it with this arm. Boy. Well, do we need a quick break, or we want to go into the next thing?
Well, this is our scheduled break time because we kind of covered all of the pre-event prep and organisation and getting everybody ready for the event. And then, so next on our list, we're going to jump into what we do during the event. So this is probably a good time to take a little break.
All right, so we are going to take a quick
we're an hour
break.
in.
I don't actually have a break timer. How long y'all want to break for? How long are we supposed to break for? 10 minutes?
10 minutes should be good. I think we were going to do 15 for our midpoint, but we're sort of, 10 is good.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're going to take 10 minutes. We should be back here at the 42-minute mark. And, we'll be back. Welcome back. Hello, hello, hello. Somebody say something besides me so I know it's working.
It's working?
Oh,
Is it
good.
working? Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello. We've returned.
Professional. Hello.
Hello. Okay, restart the captions. Here we go. I hope everybody had a great break. Oh, now we have to drink something.
Why do I invite my friends to watch these things?
Because you're awesome.
I won't be doing it next time. Just kidding.
Yeah, I have finished my coffee and have moved on to water now, so... Ooh.
So next up we have, we're going to move on to talking about what happens during our event. Mabes, I believe you're up first.
Social
All right.
media.
So social media, that's pretty important. So as you know, social media is a big part of everybody's lives now. And for our event, it actually is super important for us to get the word out on where we're at with our event. So our OHAL team does have a Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. And we also have the website, which you saw earlier. Everything gets posted to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter 10 minutes before each streamer goes live. And these are, I'm going to be completely honest, these are not easy, and they're not quick.
It's a lot of work.
I must post, I don't know, a whole bunch of photos in the Discord. Hey, does this look okay? This is what they're going to look like. And every event is different. So how I do the event photos, the graphics, I usually do even and odd, and usually all of the even streamers are one color, and then the odds are usually the same exact designs but a different color. And then this way it kind of mixes it up a little bit, and you're not just constantly getting the exact same thing over and over and over again. And then, like I said, they go out 10 minutes prior to every event or to every streamer. And then that way, say you're writing at 6 o'clock at night your time, and then you get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're like, hey, I want to get some writing done. Where are we? If you don't want to get on Discord, or you can't get on Discord, or for whatever reason you can't find it on the Discord, social media will have it. All three of our pages will have it, and you can just go on there. It has a link. It tells you who is live. Now, sometimes we get during our event, emergencies happen. Somebody can't be there. So what we try to do is we always try to switch them out as fast as we can. Sometimes I don't always catch them. But when I do, I try to at least put the link on there, and let everybody know, hey, this is where we're at now. But yeah, social media is really, really important, and we always try to make sure we post to it. I know going forward, as we grow OHAL and things start to progress, we're going to be using it a lot more, which means I'll be posting on it a lot more. But it's fun, but it takes a while. Scheduling can take me anywhere between an hour to 2 hours, depending on how things go. As much as I dislike certain things about Facebook, they have made it so easy to post to Instagram from Facebook. When you schedule on the business page that we have, you can actually make, you can click a check mark, and it will automatically show you Facebook and Instagram, and it will post to both of them, or schedule to both of them, which makes it a whole lot easier because I only have to type it in once compared to 3 times doing all 3. But it's a lot. It's and all of our social media is connected to our website, and everything, pretty much almost everything that goes on the website will also go on social media, vice versa. but yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of took over that one. I usually do it for a lot of other things as well. It is very time consuming, and sometimes it gives me a headache, and sometimes it makes me want to throw my computer across the room, which I haven't done yet. But you know, I get to that point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. But yeah, so social media is pretty important to make sure that all of our volunteers and all of our viewers know where we're at, who's going to be where. We even post a schedule before the event starts. I make a graphic for that as well. And this way you know the whole event and what time people are streaming, and that's kind of nice too. So I'm gonna let Kes take admin on duty, which is fun.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about what we do as admins during the event. As you know, most of our team are streamers. I think I'm the only non-streamer here. I don't stream. I mostly just moderate and help the grease the wheels, keep us moving where I can. But I showed you a little bit of the schedule earlier, and there is an admin on duty column where we pick our slots for when we're going to be awake and around. And again, our time zones really help us get some comfortable coverage, so no one is up at an hour that's not great for them to be operating at. And I mean, even so, there's usually at least 2 of us around at any one time. I think that's pretty safe to say. There's usually at least 2 of us around. But we always have one admin who is on duty. And that just allows us to really focus our attention and make sure that someone is always keeping an eye on things and making sure we are running smoothly if there's handling any problems in the first instance. And it means that any other admins around can go and take a break because they've probably been doing something or they've just come off duty or they're about to go on duty. But it does mean that, you know, people can take good breaks and jump in and help out if they need to. But, I think it's good to have a single responsible person because then you do know that someone is always kind of keeping an eye on stuff. And we don't all feel the need to be checking in all the time because we're not shy about letting the others know if something is going on. So the kind of things we do when we're on duty is we keep a close eye on the schedule, particularly getting close to handover time when we're raiding from one stream to the next one on the schedule. And just making sure we're getting people connected, having streamers talk to their moderators and vice versa, making sure the next streamer is ready. Generally, we prefer to be hands-off, but obviously we need to be making sure that everybody's talking and kind of hopefully where they should be. And it is natural that things are going to happen and something is going to come up. Sometimes it's a really short notice emergency where someone is trying to start their stream and they're having a technical issue. Even though we do the test streams, stuff happens, internet goes down. We've had someone lose their whole internet connection, you know, or I think power cut even. Mm-hmm. And there's only so much you can test for. Or someone's computer's decided to reboot itself and they need 5 minutes, and that's fine because then we can step in and go, okay, talk to the streamer who's currently on, and try it and just kind of smooth over the cracks a little bit and give people the time they need, or call in a backup streamer if we absolutely need to.
For the mods too.
And
yeah, because we've had moderators go, my kid's sick, I'm not going to make it, you know, and so, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, and we've had streamers contact us and say, look, I'm really sorry, my stream is tomorrow, but I can't make it because X has come up, and it could be a family emergency, it could be, again, a technical issue. someone's computer's completely died and only shows a blue screen at any one time. There's sometimes we get more warnings, so then we go, okay, fine, and then we start contacting people to see if we can fill whichever, whether it's a streaming slot or a on a cover, and just basically making sure we're able to keep moving forward through the event on the days when it's running. And we do also try to be sort of, visibly around and available for people if they have questions or problems, and popping up in the Twitch chat to say hello. And we're really lucky we get some writing done too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually not terribly intensive. Like, it's not a huge amount of work for us. It's usually those few times when something does go wrong, we are here. But otherwise, it's usually pretty smooth these days. So we tend to, obviously, as I said, we pick up kind of the slots that we are going to be admin on duty for, and then when we switch over, we do check in on our admin chat and just we catch up on anything that's happened for the admin that's coming on duty. So we'll just catch them up if there's anything that's happened, anything they need to know, whether it's good or bad. We don't always talk just about the disasters. If someone was particularly awesome, then that'll often come up in chats too, and just to let each other know what's happening. We let each other know if there is something that we might want to keep an eye on. If someone has given us notice that there might be a problem coming up in the future, then it's all kind of brought up for each other so that we can be prepared if it comes through. And just anything that's changed. We just try and give each other little updates. And communication is just really, really key between us through the event to make sure, especially if someone is handling something, then they'll let the others know so that we don't step on each other's toes or anything like that. It's super important too. And trying to be fair, so only one person is scrambling at a time.
And when one of us is streaming, a different admin is on duty.
Yeah, we can't have one of us streaming and adminning at the same time.
No. I think a few of us will stream and mod at the same time, but that's
admin and mod at the same time.
Admin and mod.
Admin and mod is probably what I meant. But yes. Right.
I was going to say, there's a really good question in the chat that fits in with what you're talking about.
Yeah, have you ever had a time where there was no admin on duty? It's a question.
Not in my memory.
I don't think we have. I think we've always had at least one of us there.
Not counting 2020, when none of us knew what we were doing.
2020 was
man.
If you looked at our event from 2020 and looked at our event now, it's like, oh my gosh, are you guys the same event? We are.
It was a learning experience.
Before Cass, it was definitely a bit more painful doing the admin slots.
Tell me about it. I still have nightmares from those sticky notes all over my house.
Right?
Yeah. I know last event we had to switch out an admin slot or two because something came up, but we do always make sure someone's on duty. And it's always on the schedule so that if our volunteers need to know who to talk to, but generally if they just shout out for admin, they'll jump in.
And we also have our enforcers. They're pretty knowledgeable too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the Discord server specifically.
Yeah.
Our enforcers, they do help, again, coordinate and keep stuff running smoothly on the Discord server, which is where we do a lot of the coordination. Hang on, am I talking about someone else's thing now? Yeah,
Sorry, that's
we're talking about
probably
the
my
green.
fault.
We're going to come to the green room. Yeah. Yeah, but I think...
I was distracted by cat.
I think that... Obligatory cat invasion for the stream.
Yes, this is George. He always makes an appearance.
I'm surprised I haven't had one yet. I mean, talking about unexpected issues, when we did the first one, I think it was the first one, one of my cats unplugged the cable during my stream.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh dear. We have another question. Are you all going to try creating a raid train with the 100 hours?
We've done
yes,
it
that is our November
twice.
event.
Yes.
We have done it twice. We will be doing it again this November. But yes, 100 hours long writing raid stream. Raid.
As much as we all love the 100 hours long one, it's not sustainable 3 times a year.
It is intense.
It's big.
Especially since we try to have double admin coverage for that one in November. Oh, it's yeah. It's big.
Because there's a lot more people, and a lot more volunteers, and a lot of slots.
Yeah. And
but our next one is 40 hours long, and that will be a continuous raid stream. Stream
That's
raid
in a few weeks.
train thing. 2 weeks time.
Yes.
Well, we'll start with one, and actually we'll start with me, and then we'll actually end with Titch.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much so you'll
Tradition.
start and you'll just keep going. And if you set your computer to stay on, and your Twitch stays on, you will just continuously go through every streamer.
Yep.
And hopefully there won't be a problem. And it'll work great.
Which is a really good segue to Titch's one.
Yeah.
Which is dealing with the unexpected issues.
Which, trust me, they happen a lot. And most of the time, no one other than us four and the people who are having the issue will know there is a problem. We try to keep the issue behind the scenes so no one knows that it's happening. That's the aim. That no matter what is happening, it all looks smooth on the outside. Because we just want everyone to have a good time, you know? But we do have places in our little admin thing where, like Kes was saying, we pass on information to each other. So if we have any issues or someone's stream's gone down, we'll make a note of it, and just so that everyone knows what's going on when they come online. If someone doesn't turn up for their mod slot or their stream slot, which has happened before, obviously we have to get one of our standby streamers. That's why we have them, and someone else will go into that a bit more later on. But we have backup plan after backup plan after backup plan after backup plan. You have to go through a lot of backup plans before we don't have... I mean, I don't know, I've not had a plan.
You've never
Right.
not had a plan.
No. And
Come on, internet. You can do it.
can't focus on... Because I can't focus on looking after it for everyone else. For a start, I can't watch stream. So if I'm having an issue, I'm not going to know perhaps that I'm having that issue until someone else tells me. And then it also takes the stress off of you. If your internet goes down and you're streaming and you're also the admin on duty, and then you're having to think about trying to fix your stream and also thinking about the backup stuff, and then something else, and then something else, it's just not a good way to go. So it takes a lot of the pressure, and we get stressed too. And we get nervous too when problems happen, and it's nice to have someone to be like, okay, just stop for 5 minutes, put your screen on, it's gonna be fine, you know. There's been a few times that's happened, and I don't actually think anyone noticed at all, but that's good. Obviously, I mentioned my cat and random internet issues. You know, then you just plug it back in, and then we just restart and go. If someone's internet cuts out and we can't get back, we bring in one of our standby streamers or one of us. I had to step into one of the streams last event, very last minute, but it all went smoothly, and that's really what we want. And having good communication between all of us as admins and between us and the volunteers is extremely important to make sure any unexpected issues they're dealt with correctly and it all goes exactly to plan. I mean, we take pride in how smoothly our events go. There are issues sometimes and you can't stop them, but for the most part, a lot of them aren't that noticeable unless you're us and you know that they're happening.
It's very smooth for everyone else. The admin channel is chaos.
And I'll let you into a secret. Last event, we were pretty sure we were cursed. At one point. There was discussion going on about that. Because things kept happening. And even though you guys couldn't see it, we were like, oh my god, something else is happening. But we have to keep calm for all of you. Like, we have to keep calm, and
we try.
Even if we're not calm, I mean, we have to keep calm for each other as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that metaphor with the duck.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, the ducks gliding across the pond, paddling like crazy underneath. That's it.
And depending on the problem, certain members of the team are calmer than others.
Yeah. It's not me.
No. It's not Rose.
It's not me. I'm the one that it's like, okay, we have a problem. Let's hit it as fast as we can, as hard as we can, and fix it.
And we just like, calm down. Take a breath.
Take a breath. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Hi, Coffee. Welcome to the stream.
Oh, hi, Coffee.
Hey, Coffee.
But Cassie's excellent knowledge is amazing. I don't like it very much when Cass goes to sleep. Because if we have an issue with the spreadsheet, I'm there like, I love spreadsheets, but I'm like, okay, I have to have a look and see if I can sort this. Hopefully.
I'm pretty confident the cursed part of the last event was while I was asleep.
Yeah, it was.
I have no memory of this place.
It was scary. Like, every time, like, we're like, something will go wrong, and we're like, oh no, now what? And then we're like, trying to like figure it out, like, back behind the scenes, we're like, what do we do?
It was chaos.
It was.
It's
but we're awesome and we got through it, and that is the key. And the event did not fall on its butt.
Yes.
Yeah. And we carried on the raiding, and pretty much no one knew it happened. Most of it happened.
Yep.
Like,
from one streamer streaming at a hotel, and another streamer streaming from their cell phone because their computer crashed. It's great.
No, it's crazy. And the volunteers are absolutely amazing, and the majority of the time, it's great. Like, obviously we have occasions where we have issues, but like, we deal with it as a team, and we'll talk
I think we are super lucky with our volunteers as well. Like, we put a call out to say, hey, we've had a problem. Is someone able to step in? There is almost always someone who is able to, you know, and willing to step up and really help out with us. And we totally couldn't do it without those people.
And it's not very often one of us has to step in and stream as an emergency.
Yeah, with our standby streamers, they get activated maybe, I don't know, last event I think we activated 2.
Yeah.
So
I did 1
And that's
then
probably
another
high
one.
for us, right?
Yeah, that's very high.
that's unusually high for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually it's a very quick fixable thing, and our mods are really good as well, because we'll have them like run an extra couple of like a sprint in chat while the streamer fixes their issue, and it just gives them a little bit of a bit of air and space to breathe as well.
Yeah.
Talking about our mods and stuff, right? I think Rose, the green room, and how amazing the green room is.
Yeah, and so the green room is a room in our Discord channel that is specifically used for coordinating raids. And a lot of our streamers, they'll shut down Discord completely while they're streaming. Sometimes it helps with the internet bandwidth, sometimes it helps with the computer running better, sometimes they just don't like the distraction. And that's great. And that's one of the reasons why we do have assigned mods. Because a lot of streamers, if you stream a lot, you have your own mods, and that's great. But a lot of our streamers don't. And having mods in the OHAO Discord and as our volunteers, they are in the green room. And so the mods for the current streamer are in there, and the mods for the streamer coming in are in there. And so if the streamer coming in is having any difficulties, they can tell their mod in their Twitch chat what's going on. That mod can relay it in the green room to the current team, and the current team can go back to the Twitch chat and say, hey, streamer, can you run another 10-minute sprint? We need to buy a little bit of time. And it's very chill, and nobody panics, and we buy some time with another sprint. It's great. And usually at that point, the issues are fixed and we can raid. Sometimes it's not. You know, sometimes in the green room, we have a streamer check in, 20 minutes early, going, hey, something has prevented me from being at my computer where I need to be to do this. I'm stuck in traffic on the Beltway. Who knows? And it's just not going to happen. And so it's in the green room where we know what's coming next, where we have people come and check in and let us know what's up. And from there, we can coordinate with this team that's live and with whatever team needs to come in next. And the green room is really the secret to how everything flows. Without that channel, it's just really messy. I don't think we implemented the green room until our 3rd event. And before that, we would just try and coordinate in, our active volunteer chat. And things would get lost in the chatter, in the conversation and whatnot. And so having that dedicated room where we don't really talk about what's going on unless there's a problem in stream, or unless there's, hate raids or whatever else is going on. And, we'll talk about that and be like, okay, hate raid is hit. Here's how you put your streamer's chat into, emoji only chat or sub only chat or whatever. And, we handle it and we go forward. And the green room is what lets us do that. And, yeah. And so for each team in the green room, we ask that the streamers check in about 15 minutes before their stream. Let us know that they're aware that their stream is coming up, because time is tricky and time zones are even more tricky. And we ask that the mods also check in about 15 minutes early. And thank you for the follow. And so that they're aware, and we're aware that they're aware, And so then the streamer goes live. We have the starting soon screen provided by Titch, which is fantastic and themed, and everything just stables. And because of that, it just flows. It flows so nicely, and that's how we manage. Thank you for following. That's how we manage to do an unbroken raid chain for 100 hours long, is the green room. Without it, it just doesn't work. So, yeah. Did I miss anything about the green room?
No. I think I covered it all.
Sweet. Oh, yeah, and our standby streamers are also in the green room, just in case. So,
our green room is where the magic happens.
Yes. All right. So I am going to pass that to Mabes to talk about why we have mods, which I may have talked about. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So, if you noticed during our first event, our first couple events, we had basically one mod, one streamer, which is great, except we started to realize that we needed more. So we eventually added the standby streamer. They used to be called emergency streamers, but we changed the name recently. So as it's been discussed, our standby streamers are basically there just in case. Like, that's just in case the streamer can't go live. That's the only time they're actually needed. And like we said, most of the time we don't really need them. But it's just nice to have that safety net. But we've noticed during some of our events that having 2 mods per stream is actually really helpful. So what we do is we have our chat mod, and that person will mostly watch the chat, welcome people in, keep things moving. Like it was said before, if we need to run an extra sprint or something, things like that, they usually communicate in the green room and go, you know, hey, my streamer is ready to raid whenever the next person's ready. That's pretty much their main job. And then we realized that having one mod to do that and to do word count became a lot, because then you're constantly going back and forth between the chat and the spreadsheet, and you're missing things here and you're trying to keep up things over there while also adding up all the numbers and stuff like that. So Titch actually has these amazing spreadsheets where they add up. All you have to do is just type in the person's word counts. So now we have a word count moderator, and their main job is to make sure they get all the word counts in, make sure they get all the numbers right into the spreadsheet, and make sure all that stuff is moving. I think we also might be starting to allow people, if they don't have, everybody can watch us on Twitch, but unless you have an account, you can't put your word count in there. So, you know, our word count mods have to watch different areas and things like that. Yes, we get so many words and word counts in one. And I know during camp, well, during April and July, we do words and editing. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit extra to do. So it's really nice to have 2 separate jobs for our moderators. And then if you saw the spreadsheet that Kes had earlier, you saw basically it shows our streamer, and then it shows our word count mod, our chat mod, and then at the end our standby streamer. And it makes it so one moderator isn't doing too much. And, you know, because I think a lot of us admins on duty were jumping in quite a bit when it came before we separated them, because we were trying to help alleviate some of the pressure and the going back and forth and things like that. So it's really nice to have those 2. And we don't want to ask our moderators to have to do everything by themselves, because it's also not fair to them when, you know, our moderators are also writers. So they're going to be writing just as much as, you know, a normal person or viewer is going to be doing. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it.
So, I mean, they're pretty important to us, you know, like I said, our volunteers are basically our event.
Yeah.
Without them, we would not have these events.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're not stressing them out too much or putting too much on them and overwhelming them by having to do too much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Thanks, Maves. I think that takes us up to our next Q&A session.
Mm-hmm.
So, does anyone have any questions for us? Ask us questions in the chat.
Ask
us
questions.
As long as we know the answer.
We're still waiting for
Ask
somebody to ask
anything.
us a question we don't know the answer to.
Stump the admins.
It's a game.
Yeah. Just watch us all be deer in headlights. Oh.
Here, put it in chat, because I know Coffee's got the stream muted.
We've got captions.
Games.
They can read what we're saying.
Yeah,
Welcome,
the captions
Games.
are not exactly.
The captions are so
reliable.
bad.
No.
Happy Starlight Games.
Hi.
Thanks for the follow.
Sorry about the captions.
What's a puppy Starlight Games? Like, what are with these captions?
Oh, we've got a question. Okay. What's your favourite moment from one of the events?
Ooh. That's a
I
good
think
question.
mine is the word counts, like beating the previous year, because that is a lot of fun. And working toward that, oh my gosh, we can get some competition going. We're like, come on, let's go, beat the other ones.
Like, okay, I'm slightly competitive. I will
So is
admit.
Mabes.
Yeah, no. My favourite thing is when we had the word count, everyone picked the name for the bunny, and then we announced the bunny, and then I beat people's word counts, and I got the highest word counts in my stream for the event, and that's the best thing ever. Just saying.
Titch likes having the last stream specifically so that they know the goal they're shooting for.
Absolutely. And they're very good at having really good energy at the end of what is usually a very long event. Always a very long event.
In a rough time
Lots of
slot,
sugar.
too.
Lots of sugar. Lots of sugar.
We got our question.
Oh.
Now they're rolling in.
Right? Let's see. Next question. It won't let me pin it. Why not?
What is the main challenge you have faced running an international from a fellow international event organizer?
Probably
Time
the
zones.
time zone thing.
Yeah.
Time zones for the international side of things is usually the biggest challenge. I know I'm always looking for tools that help us make that easier for everyone because it's such a source of confusion. The spreadsheets are great. I love that they handle it. It does require people to all know their UTC offset for right now, so including the impacts of daylight savings. We don't have daylight savings here, and it is the best thing ever because I never have to change my clock. But I did live in the UK for many years, so I am used to that as well. But I'm even recently I've been looking for more tools to try and make it a lot easier for coordinating things and show it in presenting information. So yeah. And we're just implementing a new bot here on the Discord, on our Discord server, that will help show our events in the viewer's time zone, which is really cool. And it takes a whole bunch of work off of our backs to make that easy for people to see and use. I'm trying trying to get the website to do that as well. That's still a challenge I'm working out.
Yeah.
But
another thing that's a little tricky with it being, an international event is when things crash, like when Cloudflare went down last week and Discord died and like half the internet died, there's no way for us to talk to each other. And so it's not like we can just pick it up and text each other because there's,
to be fair,
I
don't really want to think about that going down during the event.
No, it's already gone down. We're fine. And so, yeah, that's, it also plays into time zones and distance, just the scope of this thing and how hard it is to actually talk to each other.
To get all four of us in one room.
We usually only have like 2 times that we can all be together. Like it's 5:30 in the morning for me and Rose, and I'm usually asleep at this time. When the panel started, I would have been asleep. It was 3:30 in the morning.
I would have been going to bed.
Yeah. So while it's nice that we can all get together, we only really have a limited times on when we can, and like we mentioned earlier, one of us is always going to be tired. Like at some point, one of us is always going to be tired because we're going to be either staying up later, getting up early, or whatever. So I think time zones is probably the biggest challenge with running an international event, because it really makes up a lot of the event.
I mean, the when we have our meetings, it's either 10 a.m. for me or 10 p.m.
Yes, but you are an early morning person, so 10 p.m. for you is not like 10 p.m. for the average person.
I'm very grouchy at 10 p.m.
No, you're a get up at 4 a.m. person, so...
I'm gonna do a Cass, because we've got more questions.
Yes. So the next question.
Let's move on.
Rainbow Moon Goddess.
Than just the 3 a year.
Oh, this is exciting.
Who wants to do?
Okay.
Titch is excited.
So we do have plans for more stuff to come. We really like the kind of 3 times a year for our big Weekends of Riding Wildly or the 100 Hours of Riding raid train events. But we do want to do more. And so we're looking at bringing in some additional stuff to support riding streams and promote them and help people get connected. And so we're looking at doing monthly theme spotlights, where each month will have its own theme. And so anyone who streams on that particular theme, and I think the first one we have is in August for world building, I want to say.
That's right.
I think so.
Yeah. So if someone does a stream about world building, then we're going to put links on the website and feature them in the Discord server, and
there's a
really
form
just
on the
highlight them,
website.
I guess.
Is the form live on the website?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The sign up form is on the website and ready to go. So we've got themes up there, I think, till the end of the year.
I'm excited about October.
Yeah.
So we're still kind of building out some of the framework on that, but we are super keen to get that going, to kind of get some more kind of regular streaming stuff going every month, not just our big event months.
Yeah. All right. Games asks, how have we enjoyed Conduit? I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think we're all a lot less nervous now.
Yeah. Yeah, when Mabes first signed us up for this, and she's like, yeah, I signed us up for this writers conference, and I'm like, you did what? I have to talk to people? And they're like, Rose, you talk all the time, what the heck? So
Yeah, we can't get Rose to shut up.
yeah. But no, it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun to connect with other people that do events and see how other events work. And
Right, I've really enjoyed watching the other panels as well.
yeah, yeah.
Good.
There's been some really great ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. How did you come up with the OHOW idea?
Mate?
So for NaNoWriMo, a lot of us MLs were discussing how to do our regional stuff virtual, because in 2020 everything got shut down. We couldn't do any of our in-person write-ins. And there was a channel where everybody was throwing out different ideas and things like that, and somebody posted an idea about, you know, a really long write-in where everybody can just sit and chat and, you know, go from there. So I messaged a person, asked them if they planned on, you know, moving forward that idea, and they're like, no, just starting it out there. So, you know, I double checked, made sure it was okay, and then I kind of took the idea and moved it up of, hey, let's do 100 hours of writing. Let's stream it on Twitch. We can raid each other. You know, we can just keep moving it through. So it kind of started as like a general type, hey, this would be kind of cool to do, as just a random idea thrown out there to other MLs to figure out how to get it going. And it kind of just got expanded. And to be honest, I mean, I think that was in September. And I mean, if you know NaNoWriMo, you know September and October, I mean, things are moving along. I don't think it was even until October where like it was like really moving, and I was like, oh no, we have to like get going and get people signed up and like start the whole thing. So it it kind of started that way, and it just progressed and grew, and we continued to move it along and change and update. So yeah.
Nice. Let's see.
So much fun though.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's super stressful, it's super fun.
Oh, right, it's my turn. I was looking for our Discord link because apparently I forgot to put it in the thing.
It's okay, I dropped it in the chat.
Yeah, but he said that they said that that they couldn't access the website, that it wasn't working for them.
It's working. It's working from the website.
The website should be fine. If you get a warning, just go on through. It's just it's not on HTTPS yet.
Yeah. I need to add the.
Do you think you'd have come up with the idea if 2020 hadn't happened? To be honest, probably not. 2020 just kind of pushed us into that. Now, for me, my whole region was virtual anyway, so because it's an elsewhere region. But for other people, like Rose and Titch and Cass, like theirs aren't all virtual. So yeah, if 2020 didn't happen the way it did, we probably wouldn't have come up with the idea because it never would have been somebody's suggestion. So that's probably one of the biggest perks that came out of 2020, I would say. Because, I mean, to me, OHOW is amazing. So it's really nice to have it. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Toss that in there. Woohoo! All right. Any more questions? Wait, where did we stop? Did we talk about feedback forms yet?
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet. No,
Not
I think
yet.
we're sort of, that's the end of our second hour. If we wanted to do another quick break.
All
You got
right.
time?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, we got time.
Yeah, I've got time.
Okay.
All right. So we are going to take a quick 10-minute break. Everybody stretch, get up, go hydrate, and we will be back here at 42 after the hour again.
Brilliant.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Captioner.
We have everyone.
Hello, captions. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Apologies for the captions again.
They have been entertaining, if nothing else. You know, police district
It's not
options.
representative.
No, it's not.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
All right. So now we go into what happens after an event. And Mabes is going to kick this one off.
So, after an event, right, before we all pass out and die, we try to get our feedback forms out. And these forms are very, very crucial to future events. I know a lot of people go, oh, well, this business puts out the feedback form, or, like if you go to Walmart or something and they're like, here, take this survey afterwards. I know a lot of people probably think of it like that, but it's not. So our feedback forms, we have two different forms. We have one just for our volunteers, and then we have one just for our viewers. And a lot of the stuff that people put in these forms, we go over, and we actually implement a lot of them, a lot of changes. So if you've ever seen us from 2020 to our events now, our events have changed so much. And a lot of that is the feedback that we receive from our viewers and our moderators on these are things that they like, these are things that they didn't like. That's how we got the green room. That's how we got, certain aspects of our Discord setup. That's how we, go through things. I know our last event, or our last November event, our feedback forms were absolutely amazing. I mean, people were talking about how they wanted more events and things like that. And just for anybody who may be filling those out, those make us feel so happy and so amazing to have the feedback from our people. But we do have a lot of volunteers who also fill out our viewer one, because they do view other events or other streamers when they're streaming. But those feedback forms are very important for future events, for our Discord, our website, how we interact with people, how we go about different things. It's nice to have your input. And that's something that I think we do differently than a lot of other places and events is we really take a lot of everybody's opinions and things and input and move that forward with our events, and if you actually go on our website, we actually set up so you can see some of the feedback that we receive, some of the, hey, we really love this event, things like that. So those are really nice. So if you ever take part in our event and you see those feedback forms, please fill them out, because that, you never know. Your feedback could end up on our website, and your feedback could make a change for another event.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We really do read them, all of them.
We do. We sit in the admin chat sometimes, and we have happy tears, or when we see the nice ones.
And even the not so nice ones, we take those to the meetings and go, okay, this is probably something we should address. How do we fix this pain point? It helps. It helps a lot.
It really does.
And especially being this deep in now, it's been 2 years since we were new to this. And so having fresh eyes on it helps so much to recenter us and our vision and what we hope going forward. We don't know if you don't tell us.
Yeah.
And yet the good stuff we tend to read over and over again.
we post our favourites to each other.
We do. You should have seen us try to pick the names for Titch's bunny.
Yeah.
My bunny ended up with 2 names.
Yep. All right.
Next up, we have Rose, I believe.
Yep.
Looking about Discord.
Yes. So after an event, the first thing I do, it tends to be sleep. Especially our July and April events, they end at about 6 a.m. in the morning for me, and which is coming up. And I go sleep. Titch finishes their stream, we all go yay, and collapse in a pile. When I wake up, I tend to get to work on resetting the Discord. I'll go in and I'll pull the active volunteer role off of everyone, and I will assign the legacy volunteer role to anyone who doesn't already have it that has volunteered for us. And so we do have, a secret couple of channels specifically for our legacy volunteers. And so they can keep in touch and, share tips and tricks and things they found. Plus, being a legacy volunteer means you get a little bit of early bird access to new schedules. You get to pick your slots first for the next event and just fun stuff like that. But pulling the active volunteer role off of everybody locks down our category known as the active alcove. And in there is where the green room is, our active chat, and other channels that are specifically for the event at hand. One of the channels that we have in there is our time slot verification channel, where I plug in the streamer, the moderators, and the standby streamer for every single slot, using the Unix timestamps that Discord has finally supported, so that everybody can see their slot in their own time zone. And there's no... It's just one more step to try to avoid that time zone confusion. It doesn't always work. But it helps. It helps. And so after an event, once everybody's cleared out of the alcove, I'll go in and I'll clean out the time slot channel. We'll archive the active chat channel and the green room channel and just kind of refresh and set it up for the next event. Because like I said earlier, we really like having a clean set of active alcove channels for each event. It just seems to help a lot with cutting out the confusion, So you come in, there's something great about a blank page. And so yeah, that's what we do there. After every event, we tend to implement something new, because every single event we learn that this channel was redundant, or we actually really did need this other channel. And every single event, after every single event, the Discord flexes and grows in some way. And that's been really great, and it's been really awesome to have Kess around to keep me from making 20 new channels after every event. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I do. And bots help. Bots help so much. Oh my gosh, bots help. Yeah. All right, so that brings us to the post-event meeting, which Kess will cover.
Yes. So after each event, we do get together to have a meeting to talk about how it went. We do take a chance to have a bit of a rest first, because we're all pretty wiped after it's 40 or 100 hours to spend
has been running, so we take a little rest, but not too long. We try to do it quite close to the end of the event so that we can, so it's quite fresh in our minds, and we want to make sure that we are tying things off, but also really addressing how it went. And so both good and bad. And it's really important that we kind of look at both of these things. And, you know, so we go back through those feedback surveys and look at really at what people are saying and how they're feeling the event went and what their experience was, so that we can better understand how people are reacting and how things came across. And occasionally squee over the really good comments, because our people are lovely and they're amazing.
Yeah.
But it's good to recognise the good stuff, because, you know, we don't want to just talk about the negative things, because that's, I think, easy to get lost in, when ultimately it tends to go really, really well. Especially on the outside.
Yeah.
Even if it hasn't on our side. On the outside, it's usually fine. So it is really good to keep a good balanced perspective on ourselves. We'll talk about what did happen for us as admins, or from our side of things, during the event. So problems that came up, any particular issues that we had, any notes that we've taken. It's like, oh, hey, we should really talk about this later, because during the event is usually not the time for some of these discussions, because we really want to focus on making sure the event keeps running smoothly and everyone's having a really good time. So we do tend to, I think we all take notes in some, whether it's somewhere on Discord or whether it's personal, we all tend to kind of, you know, have some things we're like, oh, we should probably talk about this, whether it's good or bad, or an idea that struck us during the event, or a comment someone made that gave us a really cool idea, whatever. So those are the kind of things that we like to talk about, to see what we can learn and what we may have missed, or actions that we might want to take going forward. And a big part of our event meeting is making sure that we can talk a lot, but it's really important that you actually make actions out of these. We don't have to do them right away, but actually having a plan to say, okay, X issue occurred. What can we do to handle this better next time? Or hopefully stop it happening again would be the ideal. Though not always possible, depending on what it is. But, you know, what different ideas about, maybe next time we could try doing this instead. Or, you know, oh, this really cool thing happened. Maybe we can encourage more people to do that, or we can just promote and shout out about this sort of thing. So whether we want to promote positive stuff or make sure that we can kind of reduce any issues going forward, any general improvements that we sort of come across, be like, you know, oh, you know, maybe some particular aspect is a bit of a pain for us to handle on the back end. If we can make that go away, that gives us more focused time to improve other things. So, you know, or new ideas for shiny different things that we can do. That comes up. We talk about all that kind of stuff as well. And we do try to come up with a bit of a plan to tackle these sorts of things, and plan it out and figure out what we can address before the next event. While it would be awesome to do everything, that is generally not possible, because we are humans at the end of the day, and we all have day jobs. And we do not have unlimited time or energy or money to put in, unfortunately. So we do have to make sure that we're coming up with something feasible, that we can do some great stuff before the next event, and then keep any other pieces that we know we're probably not going to get to, and put them in for the next time after that, probably. And yeah, once all that's kind of sorted out and planned, and we're all happy that we've kind of been awesome, then and then we kind of start cleaning up and resetting for the next round. And rinse and repeat.
And the next round keeps coming faster and faster, I swear.
Oh, I know.
Oh my goodness.
But we do have loads of exciting things in the pipeline. But
yes, we are working on heaps of stuff, and it's really fun. So we talked a bit about the monthly themes that we're kicking off really, really, really soon. And we will be streaming again in 2 weeks. 8th till the 10th of July. I have August on my brain, I don't know why.
It's like, it's too soon.
Sorry.
It's less than 2 weeks, people.
Yeah.
Oh, good morning, Rose.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks. And we will be doing the 40-hour raid train, which is 20 different streaming slots. And I believe this time is the first time we have 20 different streamers as well.
Yeah.
Nobody is streaming twice.
Yeah. That's so exciting. We usually have at least one person or two people doubling up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be kind of cool having every streamer different.
Yeah. And if we keep growing, man, I don't know. It's like already the stream slots get snapped up within 48 hours, it seems. And so, this time we had more streamers volunteer than there were slots available. So it's a great problem to have.
Yeah, it's a great problem. It makes you feel really good like you're doing something right.
We do have
get people who sign up, and that's another thing about our sign up form is we get people who sign up on the form, and then when the slots become available, they realize that or something comes up and they can't. And that's a great thing about our form is even if you sign up on the form, it's not a commitment. You're not saying that you have to stream or moderate. It's just saying, hey, I'm interested and I want to. As long as the times and everything work out for me, then yeah.
Yeah. And even, we open up the schedule good 3 weeks before our event. And, quite often somebody will pick up a slot and then realize a week down the road that, they have to work that day. And, they'll need to drop it. And that's perfectly fine. You go in, you take your name off the list. Somebody else will pick it up, I promise. And like right now, our signups are still open for moderator shifts. We still have a lot of moderator shifts available, both the word count mod and the chat mod. I think we've got more word count mods available than chats. But
we do.
Yeah, so any of y'all out there watching this, if you're interested, the form's on the website. Go sign up. Yeah. Sign up as a moderator. You'll get to come see the active alcove and see behind the scenes, and it'll be fun. Absolutely. Did toss up the Discord invite up above. The form is also on Discord. And one of the things we do have in Discord is we have an announcements channel that other servers can follow. And we always put in our sign-up forms there and our feedback forms there. And it can get a little spammy during the events. Because also, we send out an announcement every 2 hours with a link to the next streamer in that channel. But that only happens 3 times a year, so... But yeah. Once can sign up as both. Yes. Right now, signups are only open for the moderators. You can sign up as both a chat mod and a word count mod. And come check us out. Join our Discord, and we'll get you rolled up and ready to go. It'll be great.
And usually, when we open up the sign-ups, you'll be able to select. You can select streamer and any kind of mod all together at one time. We just happen to be full right now for streamers, so you can only sign up for what's open, I'm afraid.
Yeah. But even signing up for a mod right now will put you in the Legacy group, which will get early access in November, when we post the schedule out for the 100-hour event, which is 50 streamers in an unbroken chain. So,
and 100 mod slots.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Oh, gosh.
100 mod
Social
slots,
media is fun to do.
50 stream slots, and 50 standby stream slots for just in cases. Yeah. We have never had a November with 50 individual streamers. We haven't hit that yet. So,
That would be super cool to do.
that would be really cool. Yeah.
I think that's our event goal.
Yeah, last November was the first time ever we hit 100 viewers in chat, and that was in Mabe's kickoff stream. And yeah, and it was the first time we hit 100,000 words written in a single 2-hour stream, and we hit that twice, I believe, with both Mabes and Titch. Because Titch managed to beat Mabes by that much.
Friendly competition.
And sheer determination.
Yeah.
Friendly competition.
My streams don't get anywhere near that many words. My streams happen in the middle of the night US time, and they're very chill, and we get some words. So,
we are coming up to like 10 minutes left, so please put any questions in the chat.
We got one.
We got one off topic. How many Discord groups are you all in?
Oh, good heavens.
Oh,
Too
gosh.
many.
I've
Well, I
counted.
run 3.
I'm close to 100.
Holy!
Like, yeah. I game too, so
Yeah.
I'm in a lot of gaming ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in close to 100.
I'm in a few
I
gaming
counted.
ones.
I
Counted a
mean,
while
the
ago.
D&D ones.
I left a bunch recently, so I think I'm down to like 30.
I couldn't tell you how many. I do have 3 categories though. I've got the writing servers, gaming servers, and Discord bot servers.
Yes! Oh my gosh, the help servers. I'm in so many bot help servers.
Yeah.
Some of them are great places,
Yeah.
some of them are the pits of hell. So
I have many of them muted unless I have a problem.
I have so many
As you
muted.
can also tell, we're all very dramatic. Yeah, mainly, Rory.
I have flair. What can I say? All right, so let's see.
So I think the short answer to that question is probably too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But muting servers is the best thing ever.
Yes, yeah, and
It
being
is.
able to switch it to, only direct mentions and
Yeah. I turn off I'm not the biggest fan about everyone's, and I just turn it off in most of the servers.
I'm not a
I'm in.
fan of everyone. Unless it's a very small server. I think in my regional nano server I used @everyone all of 3 times in the 4 years we had it. So...
Well, I think, because in our server, there's so many roles that I get pinged for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe it depends on the server for me. I've got one where I use it a lot, and then others I don't use it at all. So.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't at everyone unless it's super important. Let's see. Games asks, what is your favorite thing about the community?
How supportive people are.
Yeah.
And how willing they are to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, our volunteers are pretty awesome. Like, if there's like an
They're so
issue,
kind.
yeah, and they are always like offering help to new people who have questions. Because, you know, granted, we are around, we always have an admin on duty, but sometimes we don't always see something, or it's like right in between like a weird like hour or something where like, you know, one of the admins just like is eating or in the bathroom or, you know, whatnot. So our community is pretty, you know, pretty helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, our volunteers
And they're really
are amazing.
wonderful if we do have to do a shout out for some help with something, whether it's during an event or outside of one.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if we don't have a standby streamer for some reason, you can pretty much guarantee there's going to be like at least 2 or 3 people that are like,
Or half a dozen show up and go, yeah, give me 10 minutes, I'll be there.
Yep.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Let me just tie my hair back and I'll be on stream. Give me a second.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, some of our volunteers, they just blow me away with how kind and generous they are. How much they're willing to help and just be there. It's amazing. It gives me great hope in humanity.
it makes it so much easier for us as well.
It does. It really does.
And it's really made friendships across the world.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And it does make everything that we do worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When we have such
100%.
awesome people to do it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if the people weren't nice, we wouldn't still be doing this. It's too much work. And it doesn't pay.
It's really rewarding at the end. Like, and even during the event, it's like, you know, to see like people are like, I wrote X amount of words today because of the event, you know?
Yeah.
That makes us happy to know that we're helping other people get to their goals.
Yeah. It's really great to be able to provide a place to facilitate this kind of creativity and sharing and support of each other. It's awesome.
I think our events have even helped some of us hit affiliate on Twitch.
Yes. Yes, several.
Still waiting on me.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there.
Yeah, we'll get you there. Don't worry.
It is a running joke now.
You were like one stream short last November.
Know. So close.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we've got about 5 minutes before we are supposed to raid back into the Conduit channel. This panel went faster than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Although the sun is coming up outside my window. It's changing colors. I don't like that.
I haven't looked, but I plan to like jump back in bed or go on the couch.
Yeah. The husband and I, we've got a movie this afternoon at 3 p.m. One of our studios is showing various Ghibli films. And the one they're showing today is The Cat Returns. So I get to roll out of bed and head to the theater later. I'm very excited. He's the bunny.
And I love the bunny.
Yeah, we also all have a bunny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one thing that we did is all of us bought, we all got a bunny. And yeah, they're super cute.
It was difficult finding a bunny that was available in all of our countries.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
had to ship it to me.
Like a little
Yeah,
scavenger hunt.
yeah, I did. I shipped you yours.
Yeah.
You still owe me some chocolate for that.
I know I do.
I still want that scarf that Cass has for her bunny.
I
Right?
Do you want me to make you all one? Because I will.
Yes!
I even have little charms for them.
Do you even have to ask?
My bunny has a little pink tie.
This is usually how our admin meetings start out. Usually we just sit and like chit chat about like whatever random thing pops in our head.
Honestly, it's a miracle that we were ahead of time. I mean, staying on track, let alone ahead of time.
I think it was because we were so nervous. We were all like, let's just get through it. We got this.
I've got to quit reading the captions. Holy snot. That's great. Oh, great.
Yeah, just a general apology from us for anyone who relies on captions.
Sorry.
They may or may not represent anything we said.
Oh my gosh, I just read some of these captions.
No!
Ring pops in our head. Okay.
And this is a perfect example of when we did the practice. We're looking up on. But now it's everyone.
It also misses half of what we say. Like, it's not even getting all of the dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah. We tried.
Also, the captions of you reading out the captions is like the game of telephone going on in the captions. It's not okay.
Oh my word. Oh my word. All right. Let me see. Where's the thingy? Right. So, we are going to be raiding back to the Writers Con channel, which is there. I'm supposed to share the link, just in case the raid breaks. Alright, are we ready to head out?
Yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Alright.
I hope you enjoyed our rambling and talking.
And giggling.
And the random bunnies.
Yeah. And the really bad captions.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Have an
Thank
awesome
you.
rest of your day.
Or night.
Alright.